Thank you for being here, subscribed or not. And if you haven't joined the 49% Elite Humans, consider hitting that button if you enjoy the videos, as yeah, that pretty much sums up how it's been going between these two lately. Even before anything that happened this weekend, that was the vibe. The Dodgers obviously took them out last October, but it was also pretty one-sided this summer. Back in June, the Dodgers took 2 of 3 in San Diego before winning 3 of 4 back home, barely losing that last game. Padres barely held on to just take 1 out of 4. But it didn't seem like it would continue. The vibes lately have been pretty much the opposite. The Padres went into this latest series on fire. They took 2 of 3 from the D-bags, 2 of 3 from the Red Sox, and swept the Giants while the Dodgers were just ice cold. Okay, maybe not that cold. It was really just the Angels deciding to be the greatest team ever. But it was enough of a knockoff for the Padres to not even just tie the Dodgers at the top of the NL West, but get ahead of them by a game. Mind you, the Dodgers were 9 games ahead of the Padres a month and a half ago. Now, it was the Padres all the way back and up by a game on a roll on a 5-game winning streak, 9 of their last 12, and Ramon Laureano, who had gone deep in his last game in San Francisco, was keeping the Padres up. This ball is just able to doink off the foul pole, 1-0 Padres. Meanwhile, Freddie Fermin, their new catcher they traded for from Kansas City, going after this foul ball, the Dodgers Stadium wall is like, screw you. Thankfully, he was okay. Through 2 innings, it's still 1-0 Padres. Dodgers hadn't gotten anything going because they were saving that for the third. Michael Conforto smacks a leadoff base hit. There's a person in the iTALK Discord server whose name is Chinese Michael Conforto. I still don't really fully know what that means, but I would imagine he's happy. Alex Freeland follows that up with a base hit. First and second, nobody out. Miguel Rojas pops a bunt up. Machado goes for the catch, but instead clanks it away to load the bases up. Shohei bounces into a force out that ties the game, which is basically a win on its own for the Padres. Better that than a 450-foot bomb. Now Mookie Betts, who flies one to center for another productive out, brings another run home, 2-1 Dodgers. If you were still wondering how Fermin was doing after smacking into that wall, by the way, he throws Ohtani out trying to steal second, so I guess that's a decent way for a catcher to say I'm chilling. Other than that third inning, Randy Vasquez, who came into the game in the second inning, was wheeling and dealing. Dodgers still with just those 2 runs. They take him out after 5 innings. In comes Jeremiah Estrada, who was good. He's a good pitcher. He pitches a scoreless 6th inning and strikes out Freddie Freeman to start the 7th. I guess it was just a mistake to keep him in a little bit longer, though. Teoscar Hernandez goes boom. Dodgers get a big run of insurance, something they need every ounce of with the way their bullpen is. Yeah, dump that seed all over Teoscar's face. And on cue, the bullpen starts giving their fans heart attacks. Alex Vesia, who has 2 strikes on Jose Iglesias, plunks him. 2 pitches later, plunks Jake Cronenworth. And obviously, these 2 teams have a history of hitting each other, but if you're the Padres, also, obviously, you should be thanking them that right now you need base runners, and they're handing them to you. Padres didn't get a single hit in this inning, but still got 3 base runners and a run out of it. In comes Blake Trinan to face Manny Machado with the tying run at second base, and he pops up the first pitch, inning over. Dodgers go down 1-2-3 in the 8th, and in comes Alexis Diaz. Edwin Diaz on the Mets, his brother, by the way, for those who didn't know. He comes in, strikes out Xander Bogaerts for out number 1, but then gives up a base hit to Jackson Merrill and his lightsaber bat. And the reason it was just a base hit and not a double was because Merrill also wiped out the moment he made contact. Yeah, way to represent Sith Lords, man. Nice job. Now, I honestly don't even think he would have made it to second base anyway, even if he remembered how to run. But either way, Padres have a man on. Up comes Ramon Laureano, and Diaz wins the battle. Throwing a sweeper he can't hit, out number 2, and in comes Jack Dreyer to face the other guy the Padres traded for from Baltimore, Ryan O'Hearn, and his Ted Nugent bat. Jack Dreyer says screw Ted Nugent and gets O'Hearn to hit a harmless fly ball to center. Dodgers win, are back tied with the Padres, and the MVP of this game, nobody I've mentioned so far. It's Clayton frickin' Kershaw. Now, I'll be honest, as much as I love Clayton Kershaw, someone who is one of my all-time favorite pitchers, he's only ever been in the league since I've watched baseball. Sure, Hall of Famer, obviously all that. I struggled to have much faith he'd be good enough at this point in his career. With all his injury issues and just the natural aging and regression of who he is as a pitcher, I've always been rooting the hell out of him no matter what, but I didn't know how much he really has left in the tank, and I am very happy he's proving me wrong. This man went out there, he struck out Luis Arraez in the first inning. You know how hard it is to do that? Arraez has struck out 15 times this year in 118 games. A Luis Arraez strikeout is as common as Snoop Dogg declining a blunt. Yet here is Kershaw getting it done, and then he strikes out Machado. Other than that Laureano home run, he just barely got Kershaw gave up only one other hit, only 3 base runners through 6 innings, and ironically, even though he struck out the hardest possible guy to strike out in that first inning, and then Machado, Kershaw only got one more strikeout the rest of this game, which should be expected. He isn't going to punch out the world. Those days are behind him. But the man knows how to pitch, with or without 96 miles an hour and regardless of age, and to see him still doing the damn thing in a big game too, against a team fighting you for the division, inspirational shit right there. Then there's Blake Snell, former Padre, former Giant, also too, now a Dodger. This NL West slut making just his 5th start of the year, and the first inning was weird. Base hit by Tatis, only for him to get nailed at second. Luis Ariz hits a ball into the clouds, comes down and lands for a double, and then a ball Freeland at third can't come up with, so that's 3 straight hits to start this game. Merrill lines one out to left for the second out before Machado's like, I want to copy Tatis. He gets thrown out at second, so these boys just sabotaging their own success, and they do the same thing on the pitching side of things. Dylan Cease starts out the bottom of the first with not 1, not 2, but 3 walks. Dodgers don't even need to swing the bat. They have the bases loaded. Couple hitters later, Teoscar hits a sac fly before Cease walks yet another hitter. He walks Andy Pages in his pencil bat. How cool is that? 4 walks in this inning, and Michael Conforto makes his Chinese version happy. Base hit, right field, 2 more come home. It's 3-0. I mean, the Padres were begging for this. Like, come on. 4 walks. What do you think is going to happen? Then, like clockwork, Xander Bogaerts smacks a base hit to start the second inning and tries to steal second.
Testing Smith again. You'd think they'd learn. The Terminator, Will Smith. 3 of the first 4 outs of this game have been courtesy of his arm.
The coolest Will Smith in Hollywood, just making catching base stealers look easy. Meanwhile, Padres in the running for worst criminals ever. They couldn't steal a napkin from a diner if they tried. I mean, I'm telling you, I don't know what it was with the Padres. Maybe there was something in their blood system during this game. I mean, you'd think they were betting against themselves. Cease walks another 2 hitters in the second. That's 6 walks and not even 2 innings of work. And then Freddie Freeman hits a fly ball that Merrill drops, again, making Sith Lords everywhere cringe. 2 more runs scored. It's 5-0 Dodgers. They didn't get any hits this inning, yet still got 2 runs. There was a point in this game the Dodgers had 5 runs and just 1 hit, while the Padres had 4 hits and no runs. It was 5-0 Dodgers on 1 hit. One of the trippiest, weirdest box scores I'd ever seen. It eventually evened out. Dodgers got some more hits, including another Teoscar Hernandez home run. He loves hitting against the Padres. His OPS against them this year is 684, though, which seems like a lie. I guess it's because he just hits home runs against them and then nothing else is other at-bats. Still seems fake, though. I'm not going to accept it. Dodgers up 6-0. Blake Snell wasn't crazy dominant, but still good outing. 6 shutout innings like Kershaw, and the bullpen doesn't have much of an issue following him up. Padres can't get anything going to show any fight. Dodgers win 6-0. Well, that fight was for game 3. So with the Dodgers now back on top by a game in first place, they immediately plan on making that 2 games. Shohei Ohtani rips one in a right. Mookie works a walk. Smith lines one for the first out before Yu Darvish gets ahead of Freeman, 2 strikes. Yeah, I gotta imagine Darvish wanted this pitch to end up somewhere else. Probably low and away. I think that's where Freddie Freeman wanted it, behind the plate. Instead, it's right over the plate, and Freddie Freeman is like, that's why my name is spelt correctly. Yours is wrong. He's all over this pitch and drives it into the bleachers. 3-0 Dodgers. Then 2 batters later, Andy Pages in his pencil. Bro has a freaking pencil for a bat and then hits a home run with it. Sick. Getting that seed dumped all over his face. He goes deep. Darvish, by the way, had Ohtani on 2 strikes when he got that first hit. Had Mookie on 2 strikes when he walked him. Had Freeman on 2 strikes when he hit that homer. And now Pages 2 strikes for this one. He finally does put a hitter away with 2 strikes. He gets Conforto down swinging, but too little too late. It's 4-0 Dodgers. But then the Dodger bats went quieter than Harold Lloyd. If you understand that reference, by the way, you're either 85 years old or incredibly base. Probably both. And little by little, slowly but surely, the Padres were making their way back. Freddie Freeman tried to stretch this into a double in the third, only for Pages to remind him he'll never be Freddie Freeman. But next hitter, Tatis drives home Jake Cronenworth off of Oppenheimer for their first run of the game. So there was that. Then there was another run in the 5th when Ramon Laureano went deep again. Freeman gets another hit. With 2 outs, Luis Ariz hits a ball into the sun. Again, just couldn't be placed any more perfect. It falls between Freeland and Teoscar for a double. So the Padres have the tying runs in scoring position for Manny Machado, who lines a ball that Freeland handles for the 3rd out. Again, Dodgers bats fell asleep though. They continue staying off the board. Next inning, in comes lefty Anthony Banda to specifically face the Padres left-handed hitters, and all that happens is just a lot of false advertising. He only gives up hits to the lefties, and the one hitter he gets out is a righty. He strikes him out. All right, whatever. Well, in comes Ben Kasparius, who immediately plunks Laureano before getting the next 2 hitters out. Now in Blake Trinan, who strikes Tatis out but has to be dramatic with how he does it, throwing 3 balls in a row, then 3 strikes in a row.
Yeah, they had us the first half, I'm not going to lie.
Then Luis Arraez gets another soft hit. On this, like, how did he hit that? It's just what he does. He may not hit the ball that hard all that much, but you better bet your ass he'll at the very least be putting the bat on the ball, no matter where the pitch is. Then he does the unthinkable. He steals a base. Yes, a Padres steals a base off Will Smith. They basically just gave it to him. Manny Machado flies out, and you know what Arraez does again? Steals a base. They basically just gave him this one too. He takes third, but then Trinan immediately gets out of it. He had a thing for working full counts in this inning. He gets Sheets to ground out. Dodgers still up 4-3. Not for long. Again, with the Dodgers going quiet after their big first, these little innings where the Padres were scratching across 1 run were catching up to the Dodgers. So what looked like a potential blowout immediately in the start of this game was now the opposite. This is real now. It's close. Alexis Diaz in the game. He gets ahead 0-2 and hits Xander Bogaerts to lead off the 8th. Again, Padres should be thanking them. Please keep hitting us. Up comes Ryan O'Hearn, the lefty. Again, remember when Banda, the lefty pitcher, could only get the righties out? Well, now Diaz, the righty pitcher, can only get the lefties out. Laureano smacks the slider. It's a good pitch. Laureano just does a good job of getting to this. It's a double. Second and third, 1 out. In comes the lefty Vesia, and Iglesias hits a ground ball for an out, but it ties the game, and the go-ahead run for San Diego is now 90 feet away. Well, Freddie Fermin doesn't cash him home, just grounds out right back to Vesia, who almost throws it away, but thankfully Freeman is a lot taller than Fermin, so I feel like I'm being very mean to Fermin. He doesn't deserve that hate. I just find it funny. And now if LA wants to win this game, they're going to have to wake up again. So up comes Mookie Betts to lead off the 8th. And up to this point, he didn't have a hit this entire series, so he makes up for that on 1 swing, popping out this 97-mile-an-hour fastball for a go-ahead home run. Just like that, Dodgers are on top, and now Mookie's getting a load on his face. Dump that seat all over him. Alex Vesia comes in the game to end this game 5-4, and he does exactly that, showing the Padres who their Padre is, or should I say their Baba. That's how you say daddy in Chinese, or their Oto-chan. That's how you say daddy in Japanese. Pick any of them, doesn't matter, they all work. That's exactly what the Dodgers are to the Padres right now. Now, this is far from over. The 2 face off again next weekend in San Diego for what will be the final time this regular season, and of course, there's a chance we may have another postseason matchup. But as of right now, who knew that all the Dodgers needed after getting swept by the Angels to get back on track would be to face the hottest team in baseball? Yeah, no problem. Let me know your thoughts, and thank you for watching. Love you. Bye.